American Fugitive by Xingo Zhang. Chapter 9 Mother Liang. At dawn, Xiao Zichang arrived at the compound of Wuchang Branch Bureau. After entering his office, he immediately called Wang Xinjiang's phone. Wang soon came and handed a folder to Xiao. About the van, I ordered all city highway toll stations and parking lots to watch for blue commercial vans. Haven't got any tips in yet. The National Archive Bureau said the thieves stole an audio recorder and a cassette belonging to Lin Guo's joint fleet. That cassette is a state secret. I am going to send people to check on the guys in Association of Descendants of the 4th Field Army. Yes, said Xiao. A few years back, Lin Liang came to Wuhan. We fulfilled the security function for her. I want to check all those who caused disruptions for us at that time. Yes, sir. Also check those who are related to Lin Biao, Huanggang townsmen and the like. Yes, sir. After you finish that, feel free to go home and rest. Wang nodded appreciatively and left Xiao's office. Xiao knew that Lin Biao had two cousins, Lin Yunan and Lin Yueying. Both were important leaders in the early stages of the Communist Party. Lin Biao joined the Communist Party following their footsteps. December 5, 2007 was the 100th anniversary of Lin Biao's birth. That year, Lin Biao's daughter Lin Liang, and Lin Yunan and Lin Yueying's descendants, organized the celebration of the erection of bronze statues of the three Lin brothers and the 100th anniversary of Marshal Lin Biao's birth in Wuhan and Huanggang. They organized the event by themselves, and didn't get government approval first. Hundreds of people signed up. But for some reason, the Hubei Provincial Public Security Bureau decided to shut down the event. Maybe the government feared social unrest after the celebration, or just wanted to show its power. Nobody knows the reason. Xiao and his Wuchang Branch Bureau participated in the shutdown. They informed all participants, one by one, face-to-face or over a phone, about the event's cancellation. Many of the would-be attendees lived in other provinces. Xiao also sent his policemen to catch Lin Liang at the Wuhan train station, and forced her on a train back to Beijing the same day. Xiao's father was a military man. But his father used to be in the 2nd Field Army, so he never liked Lin Biao. Before Lin Biao died, officers belonging to the old 4th Field Army were promoted or put in charge throughout the military for over 10 years. During the Cultural Revolution, when all civilian institutions were under military control, the people from the 4th Field Army, as subordinates of Vice Commander-in-Chief Lin, were in power throughout China. After Lin Biao's death, many of those officers suffered political persecution. They were replaced by officers from other factions in the military. As far as Xiao was concerned, the gang associated with the 4th Field Army all deserved persecution, and that any attempt to overturn Lin Biao's case must be stopped. On this issue, Xiao was resolutely on the same page with the party central committee. Xiao's cell phone rang. The voice on the phone was low. Last night she entered Ren-Yee's apartment at 8 o'clock. She left at 10 o'clock. Just the two of them together? Asked Xiao. Yes. Is that all? That's all, said the voice. Okay. Keep monitoring. After hearing that Luo Yanfang had played tennis on a whim the day before, Xiao had a bad feeling. He sent a plainclothes policeman to follow Yanfang. If he found evidence of impropriety, he might be able to use it to subdue Yanfang for good. Xiao did not like Ren-Yee. Isn't he just a software engineer? Let's see what kinds of tricks are in his bag. Early in the morning, Ren-Yee's cell phone rang. He answered it while standing next to the dining table. Song Huimin's voice came from the phone. Is Luo Yanfang there with you? Why would she be here? Ren-Yee asked in surprise. Huimin laughed. It's better she is not. She left at 10 o'clock last night. That's good. What is Luo Yanfang's relationship with her husband? What's going on? Do you really like her? Ren-Yee said calmly. I just want to know. She was quite surprised. That woman is really amazing. Then she sighed. 6 years ago, Yanfang discovered that director Xiao had a lover. She threw him out of their apartment, and Xiao immediately broke things off with the lover. 3 months later, Yanfang and Xiao reconciled, after Xiao's parents came out and apologized. After that, they had a couple more fights. I don't know what their situation is recently. At the last banquet, they looked pretty normal. That's just on the surface. Huimin continued. Yanfang is from a high-ranking official family. She was spoiled since childhood. She can be reckless, unlike us. She was quite naughty. You already have a good family. Don't get tangled up in her family affairs. You might cause harm even though your intentions are good. Don't be confused. Ren-Yee didn't say a word. Huimin continued. Director Xiao has a quick temper too. Both were spoiled since childhood. Then she asked, What's going on between you and Jin Yong-Shee? Did you quarrel? Yes. She is not happy with whatever I do. Neither of you has had an extramarital affair, right? No. Let me tell you. Be careful. Xiao could be ruthless. Understood. She said softly. Don't get involved. Understood. Ren-Yee hung up the phone. He felt he had a basic understanding of Yanfang's situation. He thought about his wife, and remembered Jesus' words in the Bible. But I say to you that whoever looks at a woman to lust for her has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, pluck it out and cast it from you, for it is more profitable for you that one of your members perish, than for your whole body to be cast into hell. An affair has already started. What's next? Ren-Yee thought about distancing himself from Yanfang. But she is a victim of an extramarital affair, he thought again. She needs someone to comfort her. And she is so lovely. What do I do? Ren-Yee didn't know the answer. Ren-Yee walked out of his apartment with a backpack on his back. He stood on a curbside, waiting for a taxi. Lin Jianhan planned to climb over the fence wall and get inside the archive building, he thought. Looks like Jianhan and Jianyou have already done that. And they are on the run, just as Yong-Shee guessed. Ren-Yee felt that he also needed to hide immediately. But before he could do that, he had to accomplish one task. He sat in the back seat of a taxi, which was going through Wuhan's second Yangtze River Bridge. Many new office buildings and residential buildings stood on both sides of the Yangtze River. But the whole city was shrouded in smog. There was no sunlight. He began to miss the California sunshine. The taxi stopped near an intersection on Zhongshan Avenue in Hankow. Ren-Yee got off. It was a busy street. However, not many pedestrians were on the sidewalks. It was an old city district of Hankow, which used to be foreign concession territory. Most of the buildings were built between 1910 and 1930. The entrance of each residential area had a stone gate with a large piece of granite on top, with a name engraved on it, put up by the original developers. When Ren-Yee was a university student, he had a good friend named Liang Xiaofang. His home was in this district. Ren-Yee lived with the Liang family for a few days over 20 years ago. The homes here were terraced two-story houses with alleys in between. Each alley was neat, quiet and paved with cobblestones. The houses were warm in winter and cool in summer. Ren-Yee had a good impression of the terraced houses. However, the government had recently given developers the right to redevelop these areas. All the residents in the area had to sell their homes and move out. Ren-Yee walked toward the entrance of Xingli, which literally means Prosperity Morality Lane. Despite the place's lengthy history, the three characters, Xingli, still gave Ren-Yee a sense of dignity and strength. Ren-Yee walked through the gate, and then turned into an alley. The houses looked not well maintained. After passing 10 houses, he saw many with their top halves destroyed. The houses in the distance had been razed to the ground. Ren-Yee stopped in front of house number 26. He pushed open the door and went in. Inside was a small courtyard. There used to be a large living room facing the courtyard. But many years ago, the living room had been divided into 2 rooms, one of which had an open door. An old lady sat inside. The old lady was Liang Xiaofang's mother. Both Xiaofang and Ren-Yee had participated in the 1989 Beijing student movement. In the morning of June 4, 1989, on Chang'an Boulevard, when military moved from the east side of the city with tanks at the front, soldiers and military vehicles kept firing at the crowd. Students and citizens started running in all directions. In that early morning, while Liang Xiaofang took pictures on the sidewalk near the National Culture Palace, he was shot 3 times. The first bullet penetrated his left shoulder. The second bullet hit his right chest. The third bullet flew into his head. When a young man brought a flatbed wheelbarrow to the National Culture Palace, Xiaofang was dead already. Ren-Yee and the young man took the wheelbarrow, with Xiaofang's body and 2 injured young men on it, to the hospital. Since then, Ren-Yee would visit Mother Liang every time he traveled to China. At the alley entrance, a man in a blue suit was on a call. As he talked, he glanced at Mrs. Liang's door from time to time. He, a plainclothes policeman, had been reporting Ren-Yee's activities to Xiao for 2 days. He was requesting for information about the residents at house number 26 from his colleague in the Public Security Bureau. Ren-Yee walked into the room and called out, "Mother Liang." Mrs. Liang stood up and hugged him as if he were her own son. Inside the room, Ren-Yee felt he had walked back in time to 20 years ago. Nothing about the decor had changed, and the portraits of Mrs. Liang's husband and son were still hung on a wall. Mrs. Liang said she was in good health, although her cataracts had become worse over the last year. Ren-Yee gave Mrs. Liang money to help her pay her bills and get a good doctor to treat the cataracts. A few minutes later, Ren-Yee got up and expressed his best wishes for Mrs. Liang. After he left, Mrs. Liang stood at the door and watched until Ren-Yee walked out of the alley. On the sidewalk outside of the Xingdali gate, Ren-Yee called Shunan Car Rental Company. Little Fei answered. She said that Lin Jianhan and Lin Jianyou were on vacation starting 2 days ago. She didn't know where they had gone. He asked her about Yang Hongmei's cell phone number. Little Fei said she didn't know. When he hung up, Ren-Yee knew that the Lin cousins had taken action and fled. He walked slowly to the gate. With both hands up on the gate wall, he lowered his head and felt as if someone had smashed his shoulder with a stick, and then smashed his head. Knowing that Jianhan had probably taken the audio tape and kept him in the dark deliberately, Ren-Yee was extremely depressed. He had put so much effort into the investigation of Lin Biao's case, and was so excited about the breakthrough. The audio tape which had appeared within his reach had disappeared. How could there be such an unscrupulous lowlife in this world?